What is going on, everybody? Mr. Z-Dog Swag here, coming to you with a post-com. And what a way to start off our playoffs, the finals, than with a post-com. I hate doing these, but it just didn't work out. My screen didn't record, and that's pretty much it. I wouldn't want to give you guys the audio. I don't think that'd be too great. It's unfortunate that this happened, but in any case, we'll get into it. We got our Moongus here, which we haven't brought in a while. We got Rhydon, some Rocks, and Toxic. We got Jolteon, Kartana, Tapu Fini, and Victini. Now, as I've come to see throughout this match, Victini and Kartana is really all I need to win this match. Just a combination of the two, and I'm pretty much set. So we'll get into it right here. We'll go real slow. So we'll start off. We led World Star, expecting his Skarmory lead, but he led a really nice lead with his Alolan Marowak, and that really just put me in a bad position in the first place. So he comes in, we go into numero uno, and we take the big Shadow Bone that we would not have taken from Medini. Glad we got to take that there. So he goes and he switches out into Skarmory, and I predicted this, and I set up the Rocks, which was what I wanted in the first place, to get some pressure on to Defog. So then I go into Jolteon, predicting his Defog, and he does so. So the Rocks are off of his side of the field, but I just wanted that pressure on him. Now he goes into his Porygon 2, which is a Trace Volt Absorb, which was used against me in last year's CPBA league. That really shuts down Jolteon. Like, there's nothing I can do. Like, as you can see, I went for Shadow Ball, possibly predicting his Marowak to come in from the Lightning Rod, but it didn't work out, and so he prepped really well for that. So I go into Death Angel, or Amoonguss, and he makes a nice read, and he goes out into Beware. Now, I was so scared of a Choice Banded Beware, but it turned out this one was Life Orb, and it gets a crit return, which is awful for me. I go for Sludge Bomb. It doesn't get enough to the Tuco, and it doesn't poison either, so I'm trying to see what I can do here. I'm figuring he's going to go for either another return or maybe another stab move, like close combat, but he decided to go for Ice Punch, which was surprising to me. So I eat that up with Tapu Fini, and we got the leftovers, so we can take it very well. So he goes out here, and I predicted his switch, and I went for the... I went for the Moonblast here. If I had gone for the Nature's Madness, that might have been a little bit of a better position for me. But this thing isn't really going to be doing much to me anyway, just seeing by that damage, definitely being defensive. So we got the Nature's Madness here. It goes for Psychic, which doesn't do a lot, just does just a little bit of chip damage there. So we're going for Nature's Madness. I go for it one more time, see if I can get it into range of the Moonblast, but he decides to slack off, which is a good play on his part. He does have those leftovers as well, so we definitely know that this thing is really tanky. And I go again for the Nature's Madness, which I thought as a P2 switch-in, I didn't think that was the greatest switch-in ever, because it's doing half to this thing, and really this thing does a lot when it's at full health. So the mist disappears, and it's prime time for him to go for Toxic, which he does go for. Now, if I would have gone into Kartana here, I think I might have won the match, because I had the Sacred Sword, which would have killed this thing. He would have had no damage on anything on me, and so that was a pretty pivotal point in the match right there. Not going into Kartana, which was my original reaction to go into Kartana. I was fearing a Tri-Attack Burn or a an Ice Beam, which in reality, looking back at it, I should have gone into Kartana, which just did not help. So I had to make a few predictions here and there, and I didn't make good predictions. I went for Shadow Ball, predicting his Marowak to come back in, but again, this Porygon 2 just sits here. So I double back into numero uno, and he goes for a cover, which stinks a lot. So I'm trying to see what to go for. I do go for Toxic here, which is unfortunate. I was going to go for Rocks, see if I can get some extra damage off on his switch-ins, and force him to defog, but it didn't work out that way. So I do go back into CSI Miami here, seeing what he wants to go for. I'm assuming he's going to stab his Rocks, which he does. So that's fine, because I do have defog on this thing, so I'm just trying to see what I can do to keep playing around that. He goes into All-Star here, which was surprising to me. I didn't think this was going to do too much to me, and in reality I was right. It really wasn't doing very much to me at all. So I decide here, on his Energy Ball, I'm going to go for Defog, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I do go for Defog. And his Energy Ball isn't doing much because I am mostly specially defensive, which is what I prepared for. I wanted this thing to be tanky for the Manaphy. And I go for the Moonblast here. I see how much it does, and it does very little, but I do get the special attack drop, so he's only at +2 instead of +3 right now. So the Energy Ball does do a decent amount. And as I was told after the match, I probably should have gone into Kartana on his Energy Ball, because it was very obvious. Because that's pretty much what I had to go for. He goes for Surf right here and overpredicts. But unfortunately, I overpredict as well, and I go for Surf. So I'm in a bad position here because that Surf didn't kill. He lived on 0.2%. So that really hurt me. I did the calc. I thought the Surf would KO. I thought it did at least 10%, but it didn't. Now we go into our Kartana here, and fearing the Marowak switch in, I go for Psycho Cut because it did 2-KO, but he does go into the Skarmory here, well, which is the better play in reality. So we're just trying to see what we can do here to get some momentum in this game, which we've been on our back since turn 1 with his lead. So we go to World Star here, trying to see what we can do to pick up some momentum. We're definitely going for Blue Flare here because that's what we have to do. And he goes into All-Star and sacks it off, which is great. Was it the best thing to do? Maybe, maybe not. This thing is Gracium Z for that Manaphy. Now it's definitely for that Slowking. So it does have Fergalicious here, which in reality I should have Psychicked, because if I did, then I could have gone into Rhydon then and clicked EQ, because I did outspeed, and if I didn't think that that was going to happen, I could have doubled out into something else, such as my Kartana, especially predicting his P2. So he does take me out with a Shadow Bone here. I'm going into Mayhem. I'm trying to catch this thing off, but yet again he goes into his P2, which is definitely his switch. I should have known that, but I figured here that if I did, I could take something from the P2 and I could get some Regenerator back on a Moongus. So that's what I go into here. I do go into Moongus, and he decides to Trick Room. Trick Room does not help my team at all, other than a Moongus. As you can see, my team is really fast. So I do go for Toxic, which I do outspeed, and I get the Toxic off. I goes for Tri Attack, and it doesn't do a lot. So at this point, I know all of his moves. He has Recover, Toxic, Tri Attack, and Trick Room. So I'm trying to think of what I should do. He goes into Marowak, which really was good for him. I mean, there wasn't too much else I could do to keep him from doing that. I go for Giga Drain, just trying to get some damage off, maybe catch the Slowking. I go for Sludge Bomb, looking for a poison, because if I get the poison, I have a chance to KO with Victini. But of course, the Flare Blitz, and of course the Flare Blitz just does a little bit less than I needed it to. If I would have got the poison, I might have gotten it there. But now he goes for Shadow Bone. I knew that I couldn't go into Victini because Victini is definitely my win con. So the Trick Room ends, and I bring in Victini, going to go for a Psychic, trying to get this thing out of here, and he goes into his P2 again, which doesn't help me very much. And really, this is the point where it all goes downhill, because all he has to do here is Trick Room, and he outspeeds the rest of my team. So in reality, I should have stayed in with Victini and going for Blue Flare. If I would have done that, I might have gotten him to a point where he would have had to Trick Room a lot more. But now he goes into his Beware, sacking it off to the Sacred Sword, I believe it was. So this game did go down a little bit. If he would have gone into Marowak, I would have had zero chance to win this, to even have a chance to win the championship game here. But as you can see, he goes back into Marowak. I tried to see if I could live a Flare Blitz, but he's probably Thick Club, and Flare Blitz does kill, and that is the game. So we are off on a bad note. We just couldn't get anything done in this first match here. We were on our backs the entire match. We just didn't have our A game. I don't think we played bad. I mean, definitely the Kartana and Victini could have won by themselves, and I definitely knew that. So I was trying to play around to where Kartana and Victini were the last two mods out there, but the Trick Room just really killed me, and this Marowak just really killed me. The P2 was great for the Jolteon. It really shut me down. I really didn't have anything else to use for the Jolteon. I mean, Jolteon really took care of a lot of his team. The Marowak was the only other thing that was taking anything, and I had Shadow Ball for it. So P2 was like perfect in this match. P2 is definitely the I don't know if P2 is the MVP. Without Trick Room, Marowak wouldn't have been able to function. So definitely had a really good match this week in Inversify. It got me again. So we'll have to see. Kim BC has to 5-0 Inversify if I even want a chance, or at least 4-0. He has to 4-0 Inversify if I even want a chance, and then I would have to 5-0 Kim BC if I wanted to even have a chance to win, which is entirely possible. We can do it, but it's definitely going to have to take a lot of prep, and we're just going to have to see what happens with the Inversify match as well as Kim BC. I am thinking about doing a color commentary for the Inversify Kim BC match if I can find a time to where we're all on and I can see it. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd want me to do that. Inversify and Kim BC, if you're watching, if you like that idea, let me know. So just give me an idea of what you'd like to do with that. I'm probably going to be in third place. I just see it happening unless... if Inversify wins, then I can definitely get second place, depending on if I win against Kim BC. But we'll have to see what happens. We'll play it out as it goes, and we'll see who will emerge as the CPBA champion of Season 4. We'll make a quick announcement here towards the end of this video. I am returning for Season 5. I am committed, and June 14th is the drafting date for Season 5 of the CPBA. So we'll have to see how that works out there. We got a lot of new members. One right here, actually, Eon, or Aeon, or something. I don't know how he pronounces his name. Eon, I always call him. 482 is coming back. He's a great battler. He's in a ton of leagues. Just kind of wanted to give a shout out to him. He was a pretty big part of the Season 3 season in which I did awful. So it really came back this season, and I'm glad that we can at least be in this championship match to see how we can do against some better guys. Anything else I can think of? I don't think so. Well, your Carolina Crawdonts, soon to be Carolina Kartanas, are trying to get their way into the playoffs here. We'll see if we can even have a chance at the title, and if not, we're going to go for second place. Thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like for some CPBA playoffs, and I guess we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.